Hello and welcome to Computology Academy, and today we are going to discuss what to do after the prelims. So many students were asking that, sir, we are getting this much of marks and we are not getting marks that could be possibly enough to cross the cutoff. So here some of the students contacted me and they were saying that with some answer keys we are getting the marks which are around 81, or with some other answer keys 85. So their marks, total marks is ranging between 81 and 85. So this is a problem for them, that they may land in the cutoff region or out of the cutoff region. So this is a big question in front of them. However, some of the students are also such that they are getting the marks around 66.66. That is the qualifying marks for the CSAT. So after the prelims, two questions are looming in front of them. One, that will they be in position to clear the cutoff and will get the ticket for the mains examination? Will they be able to appear in the mains examination or not? And if they are getting enough marks to cross the cutoff mark, then what should they do now? So these two questions are looming in front of them, and many of the students are busy in cross-checking their answers with various answer keys. So go for one or two authentic answer keys, authentic sources of answer keys, and thereafter go on to prepare for the mains examination, whether you are clearing the cutoff marks, predicted cutoff mark or not. Because anyhow, this is not going to be your last attempt, and you will have to appear in the mains examination in future also. First point is that. Second point is that it is not the syllabus of mains examination only, right? The syllabus for the mains examination is quite similar to the syllabus of prelims examination. Only the mode of answering the paper and the type of extracting the question, the method of extracting the question from that content changes. So anyhow, whatever you are going to read, that is going to help you in both the prelims examination as well as in the mains examination, and that is why you should go on to prepare for the mains examination. As well as, if you are clearing the prelims examination, then what should you do? And if you are not clearing the prelims examination, then what should you do? These things should not be bothered about, because it is a famous quote, most of you might be knowing, in Gita, that karmanyavadhikarashte ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhurmate, right? Sangotsava karmani. So what does this mean? So this sloka means that karma is the work, karma is the thing that is in your hand. That action, whatever you do, the action, that is in your control. But the outcome of that action is not in your control. So preparing for the prelims examination was in your control, and appearing in the prelims examination was in your control, performing in the prelims examination was in your control. But what will be the result of that examination for you is not in your control. Around 5 to 6 lakh peoples, students, appear for the prelims examination. So does all the students are going to clear the prelims examination? And if all the students are not going to clear the prelims examination, then those students who are not going to clear the prelims examination, should leave out the preparation. Is it the right path? It is not the right path at all. It is not the right approach at all, because action is in your hand, preparation is in your hand. You have to prepare and you can do it, but outcome is not in your hand. So don't bother about that. You have to focus on the goal. You have to prepare for clearing the examination, but you don't have to bother about that. And if you bother about that, then that will be detrimental for your action. That will hamper your action. That will hamper your preparation. And this is the situation I have seen for many students, that who are concerned about the results of the prelims examination, and we are checking the answer keys of different sources, matching their answers with them, and going behind different cutoff predictions, and wasted too much of time in that. And because of that, they were not able to prepare well for the mains examination. And lastly, when they cleared the prelims, and after that the mains examination was in front of them, then what happened? They were not able to perform well in the mains examination. So these things should not be done. So here what should be done? After the prelims examination, straight away you should go on to prepare for the mains examination. So here, what should be your approach? Here you should start preparing for the mains examination, because if we leave today, then there are only 98 days left for the mains examination from 16th of September 2022. The mains examination will start. So this much of days are left with you only. And if you go on to waste your time, then time stops for nobody, and time is the most precious thing in the world. The big businessmen purchase the time of their employees, so learn from them to utilize the time. And here, this much of time has the capacity. If you utilize it properly, and if you are getting marks that is enough to clear the prelims, then this is the time which can change your whole life, change your whole future. That will be the deciding factor for your future. So don't go on to waste the time. So now onwards, what you should do for the mains examination? So two major approach should be there. First of all, no new content addition should be there. No new content should be added to your study material, except current affairs. That will be available, that will be in front of you before 15 days of the commencement of the mains examination. After that, only the revision work. And second strategy should be there, writing practice. And this writing practice is very important part of the preparation of the mains examination, because this is the method, this is the way through which you are going to communicate with the examiner. This is the way through which you will be in position to make the examiner to be able to understand what is your capability, what is your understanding about the subject matter, how much do you know about the subject matter, and how you go on to present that information in front of the examiner. This is the only method of communicating all these things with the examiner, and that is why writing practice makes the most important part of the preparation of the mains examination. And one thing I would like to inform you, that one of my student was there who was unable to clear the prelims examination for 4 consecutive times. No prelims examination. No positive result for the prelims examination. But always what he used to do, he used to go on to prepare for the mains examination, and many of the students used to laugh on him. They said आज तक prelims तो निकला नहीं है, चले हैं मेंस की तैयारी करने. But he didn't bother about all those kind of things, and he used to prepare for the mains examination. And suddenly in 2017, what happened? He cleared the prelims examination. There was a positive result for the prelims examination for him in the year 2017. And this preparation for the mains examination continuously for 4 years benefited him in the year 2017, because in that year he wrote the mains examination so well that he scored very good marks in the mains examination, so much so that he got just average marking in the interview, and still he was in the list, he was in the final list, and he became an IPS. He got the Indian Police Services. So this is the charm of, this is the capability of practicing, answer writing, practicing and preparing continuously for the mains examination. So what he was doing, whenever he used to appear for the prelims examination, thereafter straight away he used to start the mains examination preparation. And he never bothered about the marks whatever he was getting and the cutoff marks, what would be the cutoff marks, nothing used to bother him. He was bothered about nothing such kind of things. Always he used to prepare for the mains examination every year, and that karma, that action paid him in the 5th attempt. So he became an IPS. So that is the approach that every student should follow after the prelims examination. And here in the prelims examination, whatever you had to do, you have already done, and the content what so after the mains examination, what you should do, you should do the writing practice. And in the writing practice, you should add the diagram practice, making of diagrams, because it is a very effective way of communicating with anybody, with the examiner or with anybody else. Because the pictorial representation is quite easy to decipher, quite easy to understand, and quite easy to convey whatever you want to convey to the person who is going to look at that picture. So the diagrams will help you to communicate with the examiner in a more effective way, as well as the diagrams are beneficial in other ways also, because that will save the time for you in the examination paper. During the examination, what you have to do, except for the essay paper, you have to write around 5,000 words in each paper, and writing this much of words in 180 minutes, that is 3 hours, is a very difficult task, very tough task. But you can reduce the number of words you need to write by using the diagrams. Many of the informations you can convey to the examiner through the use of diagram. Like if you go on to talk about the GS paper 1, and there are many questions related to geography, and if you go on to make a diagram for half of the page, after the question the space is provided to write the answer, and for half of the page you go on to draw some diagram, and thereafter you start to write. And if your diagram is well related to the subject matter whatever has been asked in the question paper, as well as you have made a very neat and clean diagram that is conveying whatever you want to convey quite easily to the examiner, then first of all what will happen, you have saved time while whatever you would have needed while writing half of the page through making the diagram. Thereafter, whatever you will write beneath that diagram, that will not make that much of sense for the examiner, as whatever the examiner was looking in your paper, he have got already that subject matter, that information from your diagram itself. So you don't need to bother that much about whatever you are writing beneath that diagram. If you are using the appropriate headings only, then that will be sufficient to complete your paper. So this will reduce your effort in writing 5,000 words. It will reduce the time taken to write those much of words, as well as it will be very effective method to convey whatever you want to convey to the examiner. And this is not with the geography itself. If you talk about the other subjects, then there are some subjects, like if you talk about polity, and if you get a question related to center state relationship, then you can make one cyclic diagram, positive aspects, and you will mention the information. Then thereafter negative aspects, and thereafter you will again mention the information. So this much of diagram is more than enough for the examiner to understand whatever you want to say about the center state relationship, whatever the negative aspects, negative points are there, whatever the positive points are there, and thereafter you will just briefly describe those diagrams, and thereafter you will conclude the answer with the concluding statement. So this will be a very effective way, and go on to practice the diagrams as much as you can, and thereafter you should go on to focus on some specific papers which will be very scoring paper for you, which will be very helpful for you to score good marks in total in the mains examination. And what are the papers? First of all, the essay paper. So this is the paper which makes the biggest difference in the total marks of various students. First of all, there are students who may score only 80 marks out of 250 marks, and there may be some students, and even there are some students, I have seen such kind of students who have scored 170 marks out of 250 marks in essay paper. Such a huge difference. The essay paper alone can make a difference of 80 to 90 marks between two students' total means marks. And this become detrimental for a student if they are scoring less marks in essay paper. As well as the benefit of essay paper is that you have to write very less amount of words in comparison with the other papers that are there in the mains examination. And we are going to create a whole series of essay paper, how to write an essay, what are the techniques, what are the attributes, what are the characteristics of a good essay. So those students who want to go through that series and want to get informed whenever we will upload the videos, so subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload those videos. And here in the essay paper also, many of the students used to make diagram. That diagram method will help you out in this paper also. And in the essay paper, 2 essays should be written in 1000 words. So in total, just you have to write 2000 words for 2 essays. So here deliberation and the flow of the essay and the content of the essay are the key factor through which you can score very good marks. After the essay paper, the GS paper 1 paper is a very good scoring paper. Here also most of the questions you will find which are related to history, that is modern history, that too with the modern history, geography, and bulk of the paper makes geography. Out of 20 questions, almost you will get around 10 to 12 questions which are related to geography. And here the diagram method and the proper study of the geography subject matter will help you out to score good marks in paper 1. So there are many students who go on to score above 120 marks in paper 1, and this is the average marking. You should cross 120 marks average in each GS paper, so that you will be in a good position to be under 100 ranking in the final list. That is the key. And next paper is GS paper 4, because the GS paper 2 paper and the GS paper 3 paper are the papers which are more of the current oriented paper. Current information should be with you to answer those papers in a good manner, and that is why it becomes difficult. It is very difficult to know all the current affairs matters, and that is why these two papers become very difficult for the students. However, the GS paper 4 is the ethics, integrity and aptitude paper, and here again half of the paper, more than half of the paper is case study. And if you practice around 40 to 50 different kinds of case studies, then there will be a set pattern with you on how to answer the case studies, right? And that will help you out to finish off this paper very easily in less amount of time, quite effectively. And thereafter, in the theory part, you will be in position to deliberate in a better way and write better answers, and that will again increase the marks in this paper. And there are various students who are scoring more than 140 marks in this GS paper 4, and that will help you out to increase the overall average of all the 4 GS papers. And thereafter, the other 2 papers which are scoring are your optional subject papers. So go on to prepare for the optional subject papers in a very good way. Again, the answer writing practice is the key. And here in the optional paper, there are 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, and the paper 1 is the theory part of that subject, and paper 2 is the applied part of that subject. And again, the theory part should be assimilated in the applied part. Whenever there is a practical day-to-day life related question in the paper 2, like if you talk about geography, then paper 1 is the theory part, and if there is a question related to the distribution of industries, related to the trickle down effect of the development and all those kind of questions, then you will have to pull in the theory related to distribution of industries, weight losing industry, weight losing raw materials, and those kind of consumer market oriented industries location. So these kind of theories should be pulled in the paper 2 applied paper. Relate that theory to the applied paper that is related to the Indian context, and thereafter answer the question, and you will be in position to score very good marks. So this should be your approach to answer the questions in the optional paper. And in the optional paper, those students who are using such kind of methods, who have practiced well, who are well versed with the diagrams that are related to the content matter, subject matter, are able to score more than 300 marks. And that is the key to the success. If you want to be successful in the UPSC Civil Services exam, then this should be your approach. Use this approach and first and the foremost thing should be in your mind that whatever you was able of doing in the prelims examination, you have already done that. Your prelims examinations are over. Now whatever was related to the prelims examination, that is now not under your control. You can't do anything for the prelims examination now onwards. So go on to prepare for the mains examination. That is what which is in your hand, that is what which is under your control, for what you can prepare, for what you can do something, do your karma, and be able to reap better fruits, right? So go on to do the answer writing practice. And again, the UPSC is a journey, it is a cyclic process, vicious cycle. Once you have got trapped in this, then there will be prelims, means, interview, that is personality test, not the interview, and you are in this cyclic process. And again, like the rock cycle, there are adjoining links also, shortcut links. Once you have failed in the means, again to personality test, again to pre. So to come out of this vicious cycle, you should be working according to that cycle. After the prelims, you should be preparing for the mains. Whatever would be the result of the prelims doesn't matter. So don't bother about that, right? You have to prepare for the mains, and thereafter, after the mains, don't go on to prepare for the personality test. That is not needed at all. Only after the mains you should be concerned about the current affairs, because in the personality test most of the question you will get will be related to your detailed application form, whatever the information you have provided over there, and thereafter current affairs related issue, and the issues those are related to your native place, your region from which you belong. So such kind is pattern is a quite set pattern related to the personality test. But after the prelims your focus should be means, because whenever, if unfortunately you are not in position to clear the prelims examination this time, but whenever you will clear the prelims, then it will be very easy for you to switch to the mains mode if you are going through this cycle continuously every year. And don't think about that you will go through this year on year. Just prepare better, be prepared for the mains examination in a better way, so that you will be in position to clear the mains examination with a good margin, so that there will be less possibility of getting out of the list after the personality test. That should be your approach, that should be your thought process, and go on to prepare for the mains examination right away, because the syllabus of the prelims examination and the mains examination are not very different. A few more things are getting added to your mains examination syllabus, and many of the students are in dilemma that whether we will fall within the mains list or out of the mains list, because their marks whatever they are getting is on the boundary line. So go on to prepare for those topics which are common in the prelims as well as the mains examination. Start the writing practice of the GS paper 1, 2 and 3. Leave the paper 4, because that will help you in the prelims again if you are unable to clear the prelims. So that should be your approach, and do not get entangled in those queries, in those questions that कट ऑफ क्या जाएगा, किसके आंसर की सही है, किसके आंसर की गलत है. Just go through 1 or 2 authentic sources for the answer key as well as for the cut-off marks, and thereafter go on to prepare, because ultimately whatever you will prepare, how you will perform, that will be the matter which will make you through these examinations. That is the thing you should concerned about. because the cutoff is not under your control. Answer key, whatever will the UPSC think, that will be the answer key, and none of the coaching centers can say that this is the perfect answer key. There are some questions for which there would be a perfect answer key, but many of the questions which are in delay, and that is why the answer key for those questions will be decided by the UPSC only. And those students who are on the margin, who are on the boundary line, should always go on to prepare for the mains, because if the answer key of the UPSC is in their favor, then they will clear the prelims. But if they are not prepared for the mains, then they will be in a losing position, they will be at the losing end. That will become detrimental for their chances to clear the mains. So don't commit such kind of blunders, such kind of mistakes at all. And do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you very much and have a nice day.